So our topic is the perennial cost or value over cost, and how do we get there? And I can't miss this opportunity to ask a CEO for one of the BPO organizations out there, shared services, outsourcing, which is better at getting to value over cost, and why?
I think we should go over this very old discussion around shared service captive centers and do everything on your own or go to outsourcing. Because really for years now, the strategy of more and more of the corporation we are dealing with are really the hybrid model or the global sourcing model or whatever jargon you want to use. But really, that's the best combination of internal structured services and outsourcing providers. We have multiple examples of big corporations going through that pace and delivering this service end-to-end where they are able to combine the best of the providers, sometimes one, sometimes several providers, combined with their internal services on sometimes creating up to a global business unit delivering services to all their activities around the world. And so I really believe it's not captive or outsourcing. It's not BPO against shared services. It's more and more how we work together.
So from an operating model perspective, how do companies sort through how do you create more value by looking at your operating model?
I really believe it's, again, the other move that we have seen in the industry for the past 5 years, I would say, is really the concept of going into rethinking the processes and having a view of end-to-end. And every company has to understand where they want really to keep internal knowledge and capacity to act and delivering a part of this process, and the rest will be delivered through the provider, external provider. And that, I must say, it's not easy. I mean, it's something you can have a lot of difficulties to work around, and specifically creating a new agreements by which it's not the risk of the us and them, or we did well, they did wrong. Because I was discussing with a lot of our clients. I mean, it's very rare that it's all the fault of one side. I mean, it's always a combination of root cause everywhere, and you need to work on the holistic view of the process if you want really to solve the problem. And I really believe it's more difficult, because before that you could have a very nice and easy contractual arrangement by which the provider is saying, I will do this, and that for this money. Now, sometimes it's more complicated because it's the one team issue. So if you want to move and change and correct and add on, who will pay for what? And so I think it's, again, the move of the strategic partnership where you can have the right combination of the internal services of the corporation and the global providers outside.
But let's probe a little further. So 20 years of shared services, 10 years of active BPO and ITO in the market, maybe a little bit more if you want to stretch back a little bit further. Why is now the time? We've been talking about value being more important, but why is now the time that value does become more important?
Yeah, I really believe that's a second, I think, worthless opposition between cost and value. Cost is everywhere. I mean, there is no contract if there is not the cost reduction. So it must deliver the 30 to 50%. If not, forget it. So the cost is done, I would say. Now it's clear that more and more the question comes to value, and because, again, you are into the logic of the end-to-end process where people are asking you to deliver, for example, in finance, they will ask you not only to reduce the cost of accountants by X, but they will ask you to close the books instead of 18 days, that will go to 12 days next year, 6 days the year after, and 3 days in 4 years. So it's really a new indicator, a KPI, or whatever you will find in a statement of work or SLAs, which is not cost. but it's to reduce the time you close the books. Or you could say how we can, I would say that the French government could say, don't reduce the cost of the employees to collect money, but explain how I can get 75% of the revenue of all the Frenchmen to be paid on time. That's not cost reduction.
Well, on 30-hour work weeks, it should be a long time. From a return on investment perspective, though, because what you talk about is the patience of companies today is to look at return on investment that goes past 1 year. Some of these innovations we're talking about, the ideas of value, isn't something you can just take a pill. And to some of the earlier points around change management and talent management, this is not something you can just hire a person and just fill in and go. How do we get past the time horizon of 12-month ROI expectations from certain organizations and start looking at longer term?
Yeah, I mean, it's nothing new again, in the sense that we are all in the quarterly view that we, as a provider, must deliver our quarterly results to our boss, exactly as there is the same pressure into any organization. Please make more profit next quarter. And therefore, if you want to spend money for a benefit coming in year 2 or year 5, people will say, forget it. It's in every side of the economy and the contractual relationship. I would say that something that the BPO providers can offer as a longer term view, maybe in terms of innovation, is really the fact that as we are under the massive competitive pressure, if I don't innovate, if I don't invest, others will do. Others will invent a new way to do something. And I will lose the next competition on the market. So I have an intense pressure from the market to be on the leading edge on every innovative new way to do. Second, as I'm delivering service to tens of different clients, we were listening to innovation and could you do that? That's true that we are picking continuously from the market innovative new way to deliver something. And if it's working for this media company, why not to this pharma company? And why not to this bank? So there is always a change and adaptation of innovation. But I really believe that the BPO providers are really at the forefront of innovation because we absolutely need to do that. If we don't do that, we will disappear.
So one of those areas of innovation that I've seen a particular investment in is Actionable Insight. It's you look at all the spend that people have in business intelligence in terms of enterprise databases. It's about turning that into some type of actionable insight and then to actually take the action, because most organizations have insufficient quantities of people even to take action of it. So how do you see the service providers actually providing that when sometimes they don't know the business as well as their clients?
That's a very important question. I would say, I remember in 2007 in summer, I had good discussions with a new guy with his blog, Phil First, around data, what's happening around big data and the new move into the market around that. Clearly, there is a lot of providers really delivering the right answers on data and analytics and delivering things. But it's a piecemeal approach. What I'm seeing everywhere is we in the shared services or in the outsourcing providers, we are manipulating, aggregating, and storing terabytes of data day in, day out. And for long years, we did nothing about that, just delivering the service. And now more and more our clients, internally or externally, are saying, okay, what's important for me is really to make sense of this data. Okay, you close the books, good, or you deliver accounts payable, right, fine, great job, but could we do something more than that? And when, again, we can work, for example, you have every day the closing of the inventory accounting in every factories for a big manufacturer, and you can transform something in analysis of the slow-moving goods, or you can go to trade promotion effectiveness. You can really, from really the start, which is the basic accounting data, when you enrich that, and progressively you will see more and more from the buy side as the sell side, the capacity to enrich and to create value from this data. Not easy, long term, takes time, insufficient number of people, we need to reorganize our talent workforce and all that. That's true. But it's there and it will grow year after year.
Well, thank you, Hubert.
Thank you, Tony.